helps. And we're just delivering. Find people who are outside the contamination, outside the black hole, who know that somebody got sent in on this assignment, right?
That's true.
And now they're supervisors, right?
Yeah.
And their supervisors are starting to feel sadder, and
Yeah,
their
it is.
supervisors, maybe one more, their supervisor. Feels like if we go any higher, they won't care.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess this is where we start, right? Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, April 18th, 2020. In both the Lynn Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, and all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already living by the many search for truth rules, already sent into the search for truth community by wiser minds above all of us. And those rules include attempting to discern what's actually going on with the many messages that are delivered through these periscopes, either in dreaming or in the waking dream, life interactions in this dimension.
That's right.
And to attempt to discern what the messages are with regard to the greater efforts. And the greater efforts, of course, are to attempt to inspire a divine miracle to stop the destruction on planet Earth, to stop the destruction that is being caused by humanity using the tools that the spirit world sent in, even after knowing they were not able to reach into the depths.
That's
and
right.
That knowingness was proven very clearly in 2020. Maybe also in 2020.
That's what they said. They said in 2020.
And that may be true, and we're not trying to say that it isn't proven in 2020, but it was also proven in 1212, and that's
Yes,
more
that's
to
true.
the point, that in 1212 the Mediterranean Sea did not part for the 10,000 best children in Europe, strongly suggesting, and some might say proving, that the guardian angels had reason to believe, knew or should have known, that they were unable to reach into the depths. And somebody's pointing out how in 2014 we watched that same process happening. 2014
right.
maybe reaching into 2015 is hard to tell.
That's right.
But that we watched Asha and the people who are working with Asha, the souls who are working with Asha
Thank
at the
you.
time, moving their way up higher through the dimensions, and asking various presences to please stop the destruction, to just stop it, and press the buttons that made everything stop, and to do that in a gentle way. And we're looking for stopping the destruction in a fair and just way.
That's right.
And Asha was trying to do it in a kind way, and we appreciate that. But none of those buttons worked, and so we watched many godly presences push like big red buttons.
That's what it looked like.
That looks like, okay, blow it all to smithereens,
That's
or
right.
whatever. And bizarrely, those buttons didn't work.
That's right.
And then there's some historian here.
Yes, that's who's speaking.
And then we watched Horatio Ivanov, who goes by many names in many different spiritual traditions, so
Exactly.
don't get hung up on that, but that's what they call him upstairs.
That's right.
We watched Horatio basically press the blow it to bits button very effectively, and he did effectively blow everything to bits many times in 2014.
That's right.
Maybe 20 to 100 times, maybe
That's
20
a
to
really good
1,000
guess,
times,
actually,
like
yeah.
a lot, really a lot.
of times.
And what would happen, it's like watching skin peeling off an onion,
Yeah.
where each time he would do that, the real planet would get deader and deader and deader, but another level of astral fantasy would peel off. And in this dimension, we're just kind of like riding the soap fluff of fantasy.
Exactly.
And it was disorienting. Each time he would do that, there would be a day where all the psychic people felt bad.
Really bad.
But nobody's saying, hey, do you think it's because God just blew us to smithereens?
Right.
It's not a common discussion point.
No, that's true.
For him is the message. And why do you ask? So now there's kind of like a carousel turning, and now we are coming to current times, and here
That's
we are in
right.
2020, and we're filming in the midst of the COVID-19 shutdown.
That's right.
And upstairs, the inquiries have been running into how much will humanity adjust their underlying thinking as a result of the pandemic. And the answer seems to be really not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. No underlying shift, nothing whatsoever that godly presences and angels consider to be a fundamental shift.
That's right.
Which is unfortunate because we're only going to get 2 of these warnings, and then the bottom's going to drop out of human society. So they have been saying for many years.
That's right.
They've been saying third time's the charm. So this was presumably the first wake up,
warning.
shake up, presumably, and all that's happened is that people are being revolting by video chat now.
That's true.
They're not changing their underlying thinking. For him is the message. Why do you ask? Somebody's tapping, get to the point. And we believe that the assignment for today's filming is to send up a report from the field. We're 8 months into an assignment to work on a volunteer basis at a nature preserve, a small nature preserve. And we've been doing that using our CPA skills, that it's kind of like a noose around your neck. Once you have it, you can't ever get rid of it. And so we've been trying to help this nature preserve get out of truly a desperate situation that they had managed to get themselves into. And along the way, we have come to think that some of the board members are corrupt, that they're violating their fiduciary responsibility and intending to divert the situation for their own personal gain. And what happened is that the founder of the nature preserve died 8 months ago, and now there's kind of like this feeding frenzy that happens after people die.
That's right.
And the board members are seeing if they can just kind of like steal this preserve and walk away. And until we were called in, it looked pretty good. It didn't look like anybody was actually watching.
Yeah, that's right.
And now we're involved. And like once you're involved and once you see it, how can you walk away without violating your own fiduciary responsibility?
Exactly.
So now we're on the hook ethically also, and so now we have to unfortunately investigate what looks like violations of fiduciary responsibility by the board members. And as we're whistleblowing, reporting the violations to the chairman of the board, and the chairman of the board is not responding in any kind of effective fashion, it's starting to look like the chairman of the board is corrupt, and really maybe the whole board is in on this kind of like heist of 4,300 acres.
Here on Ground Zero Planet Earth.
On Ground Zero Planet Earth, they're trying to steal 4,300 acres just for their own personal benefit. And until somebody came in who was actually looking, nobody was watching, and so it was looking pretty good. And now it's not looking as good for them. But we're really aware that all of this is about something else. And while we've been going through this extremely miserable situation that has caused nothing but pain for this life, and we keep asking angels, wiser minds above, godly presences, can we quit? Are we done with that assignment? How much longer do you want us to do it? What do you want us to do? Here's the information. Here's what's happening. And we really feel like as of 7 o'clock this morning, maybe. Our investigation is now, we think it's rotten to the top.
Yeah,
we think
we
that's
really
the
do.
answer, that it's rotten to the top, that the chairman of the board is in on this attempted heist, which ties into some dreams.
Exactly.
About the big heists and the souls who feel like they're pulling it off.
That's
and
right.
So we have received these multiple messages about big heists almost pulled off, and then people jumping ship in the dreaming,
Exactly.
and feeling double-crossed in the dreaming, and hearing this dimension, just feeling like, now we can read the board roster and put black X marks by many names. And the question marks, the only question is, do they quit the first time we say, we're working with an attorney to investigate allegations of violation of fiduciary responsibility. Are you available for a phone interview? And see how fast they quit.
Exactly.
So here's how to clear a boardroom.
Unexpected lessons from the divine.
Were they unexpected? I don't know. Somebody might have expected them.
That feels real.
For him is a message. Why do you ask? And what do you want to know about this report from the field, or how detailed do you want to get? The answer to the question is it's rotten to the top, and from the top down, and that the target of the scam is actually also in on this scam, but she's not able to follow the bouncing ball, and she continues to refuse to acknowledge that she's being scammed, even though it's very clear she's being scammed. Who is the surviving widow of the founder? The founder died. He was the one who was keeping an eye on everything. He's out of the picture, and now this revolting group of board members is scamming an 87-year-old grieving woman.
That's right.
Think about what kind of people they are, right? While parading around in their good guy clothes, right?
That's right.
And those aren't good guys. Those are, I don't know what they are, but it's revolting enough. So now we're working with an attorney, whistleblowing, investigating allegations of violation of fiduciary responsibility. And we know that this represents the guardian angels for planet Earth.
That's right.
That for many, many years, maybe decades, Pan has called them the local hoodlums, saying the local hoodlums have not been running things in a divine fashion.
That's right.
And based on the destruction of the natural world by humanity using tools sent in by the spirit world, we can see his point.
That's right.
Not sure who's speaking, but it's somebody sad, really sad. For whom is a message? Why do you ask? And what do you want us to do about this assignment? Like, obviously now at the Nature Preserve, we've got to play it out with this attorney. We can't just walk away, or they'll just go right back to pulling off the heist.
Exactly.
So, meanwhile, what about the animals? What about the wild animals? What about the wildlife corridor that's supposed to be protected?